immunoaffinity column. Take the cap off at the bottom, shake out the solution. You can do that by tapping the sides so all the saline solution is gone out of the top. Take scissors, cut the cap so there's a hole to allow the sample to go through. Place it back on the column. Place this in a culture tube. Fit an adapter like so. Next step is to place 100 milliliters of your filtered sample to the column. Then you slowly push this through the column. This will allow the binding of any toxins onto the affinity column. Slowly push this so you get just a few drops come out. Push air through the column. Next step is a wash step. You want to wash with 1 milliliter of water. Again, push this slowly through. You want 1 to 2 drops a second to come through. Repeat this step with 1 more milliliter of water for a total of 2 mils for a total wash step. Again, push it through so you get air through. The next step is the elution step. Next, you take 1 milliliter of methanol, put it into the top of the column, and you slowly elute the methanol from the column, again at a rate of 1 to 2 seconds. Again, push it all the way through until you get air. And then you discard the column. This is a solution now that you're going to add the developer and then read it on the fluorometer. By taking 45 milliliters of water, plus 5 milliliters of the concentrated developer solution. Make sure and use a clean tip. You do not want to introduce any type of fluorescent interferences. This is again made up daily. Once you open the developer solution, then you can use this for 30 days before discarding. Place at the top. Mix well. And prime several times until you get rid of the air bubbles. After adding the 1 milliliter of developer solution, place the tube in the instrument and incubate for 60 seconds before reading. This allows the bromine to react with the aflatoxin to enhance the fluorescence. At the end of 1 minute, hit the read button on the instrument. And this will give you the parts per billion of aflatoxin in the sample. As you can see, this is a very rapid method for the analysis of aflatoxin. The key points are, first of all, the extraction with 80% methanol, then filter the sample. Once the sample is filtered, then you do a dilution, 10 milliliters of extract with 20 milliliters of distilled water. That is filtered through a glass fiber filter. Then that 1 milliliter of that is placed into the purification column, the immunoaffinity column. that's washed several times with water, 1 milliliter of water. You do an elution with 1 milliliter of methanol. Then you add 1 ml of developer solution, place it in the reader. That's how fast this method is. Before you do the method, it's always good to check your reagents to make sure that there are no background fluorescence. You need to check the water that you use for washing. I'm just taking 2 milliliters of the water, place it in a glass cuvette, and read it as if it was a sample. The result should be 0 or less. Then the other thing that you want to check is your methanol and bromine solution. You take 1 ml of methanol that's used for the elution and add 1 milliliter of your diluted bromine developer solution. Mix well. I've touched it, so I'm going to wipe the fingerprints off. Put it in the reader and read it as if it was a sample. Again, it should be 0 or less. In this way, this checks for the background of the reagents.